And welcome to the David Tomsic Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. It's Monday, April 28th, 2025. Glad you can join me. April has got by us pretty quick here. And for the Trump administration, maybe they're happy that it's almost over. Trump is in his 100-day review, and it's been nothing but a disaster, in my viewpoint, and the viewpoint of many other people. So what's going on? Well, Trump's poll numbers are beginning to collapse even more, and it's been a steady downward descent since February. He's even losing support for his immigration policy. Just recently, he's now being challenged again because he's deporting children who are U.S. citizens. Okay, here's a commentary before my commentary. People send me basically comments saying that, oh man, I don't understand. I don't understand MAGA. You're lying or this or that. I mean, I don't even read them all, but I have picked up on some and I never respond because my response is during this particular podcast. You can say all you want. It's your right to do it, but I have a right to say, what's wrong with you? What in God's green earth, and it is green because it's spring here in southwestern Pennsylvania, why do you believe this guy can do no wrong? He's done nothing but wrong. Now, I know people will pick something out. He did this right. He did that right. I don't know. I can't agree with any of that. Executive orders, in the scheme of things, can do damage. Sometimes they do good, but remember, the next president can get rid of them. So none of this is really permanent. It's not like writing with permanent marker. We have issues in this country he refuses to address because of his arrogance, and sometimes just the sheer fact of his lack of intelligence and knowledge on just about every subject he's dealing with. It's a personal thing with him. It's the art of the deal. We've said this time and again, and I think people just hear it and they go, yeah, he likes to make deals, but they don't understand that his whole life centers around ripping somebody else off, no matter who else it hurts. Okay? And it's hurting hundreds of thousands of people in America, if not millions. Him and his co-president Elon Musk have done damage in this country and damage around the world. No one seems to understand it or care or wonder how it's going to affect them. Well, today you're going to find out how it affects you because we're going to be talking about empty store shelves. And that also includes empty digital store shelves at Amazon and other suppliers. Okay, so right now, as of now, there are still 145% tariffs on most Chinese goods, minus some things that he removed because he blinked, because he backed down. See, he's losing this trade war. Every time you turn around, he's backing down. Now, I know many of the big box store CEOs met with him and said, you're killing us. What effect that will have on him, I don't know. Because remember, he's making this deal with President Xi of China. Or is he? Do you believe that he is? Do you believe he's actually called and talked to somebody from China? He claims that that's happened. And President Xi says, no, that hasn't happened. I have as usual, an article here from Vox.com by Eric Levitz entitled, Why Trump is Losing His Trade War with China. Many people believe that Trump is losing this trade war with China, and in a big way. So it starts out to say that in recent days, Donald Trump has signaled eagerness to reach a trade agreement with China. Now, I wonder why he's now eager. He created the circumstances of this circus, and he's hoping to fix it now by them backing off their tariffs on us and making a deal with us so he can save face. He's already has pie on his face, mud on his face, but he's trying to find a way to back out of this and still claim victory, whether he did so or not. And of course, he's not going to win because he's already lost, because he's already backed down. He's already destroyed much of the world and much of our goodwill we had with the rest of the world is gone under him. So where's the victory there, people? See, again, many of you who support him love seeing it all burn down. There are people, and they're called anarchists. They want to see it all burn down. Somehow it makes them feel like a man or a woman, that they, we won, we'll teach you, we're tough people. And many of these people aren't tough, but they want to make you think they are. And they say, well, it's all going to burn down and we'll rebuild it. 80 years of the World Trade Organization, an American institution, our hegemony for 80 years, burning it down is not an option. Sure, trying very hard, and pretty much there is a fire. We'll see how far that fire spreads and how bad it gets. But that's never an option, to burn down what America built. Again, that's a rabbit hole we're not going down. That's a long one. So it goes here. The president said Tuesday that his 145% tariffs on Chinese imports will come down substantially in the near future. On Thursday, Trump said that his administration is already negotiating with China over trade, saying they had a meeting this morning. Asked who precisely had a meeting, Trump told reporters it doesn't matter who they is. It doesn't? Yet that same day, China denied the existence of such negotiations, saying that any reports on developments and talks are groundless. Okay, so where does that leave us then? I think that the Chinese know they got Trump by a certain part of his body. And where, they pull, he will go. Now, maybe there is a deal in the works. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't believe much of what Donald Trump says. In fact, many people who've known him for decades, many people who've worked with him, worked in his administration, will tell you, whether you want to hear it or not, those of you that are the true believers, that you can't believe anything he says. Everything he says is pretty much a lie or a manipulated piece of truth that he molds into some other new truth he creates. So how do we believe anything this government will say as consumers? Well, we can't, because right now, this trade war is already taking a toll on me and you. Now, if you're rich, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm not rich. Do I look rich? Do I look like I'm in that top 10%, 5%, 0.5%, 0.1%? No, that's not me. You're getting this free because I love doing this for you. So, meanwhile, it says here, major ports like the Port of Los Angeles are seeing a steep drop in imports from China. Now, Lori Ann LaRocco, global supply chain reporter, who also wrote a book entitled Trade War, Containers Don't Lie, was host on a TV program I watched. Now, she said we're going to start seeing empty shelving in American stores starting in June because many of these companies have brought in product early. They bought more than they usually do ahead of these tariffs, but that won't last forever. She also went on to say that cheap products like fast fashion, I don't know what that is, could start seeing shortages earlier because small retailers who sell this type of clothing couldn't afford to front load their inventories. They couldn't buy extra inventories up front. So they'll only be able to sell what they have in stock. LaRocco also said that July will be critical because back-to-school shopping begins. I guess that's true. You know how stores are. They eliminate all their summer products in July, and you go to buy a summer product, you start seeing like fall items. I don't really know how that cycle works. I did work retail for a while, but I never understood it. Now, people are buying things like backpacks, notebooks, and clothing. Now, especially on Amazon. And Amazon is part of this issue because they get stuff from China. She also went on to say that car sales are increasing right now because people are going out and buying what's on the lot before the tariffs hit. And this is the case with a lot of high-ticket items that come from China. People want to buy them before the cost increase hits them. But again, once those tariffs impact the prices on cars and everything else, those sales will nosedive. So the real problem with these tariffs is not only that they affect consumers like me and you, but they affect people who actually handle the freight, the supply chain. Now, as I tell you a lot on this program, I was in supply chain a long time, and I know how disruptions can really screw things up. Just about anything can, because most supply chains run on just-in-time inventory. You know, generally in a car manufacturing plant, for instance, you're putting on a certain fender or something. As soon as that fender is gone, the next fender comes up. And once that batch of fenders is gone, the other batch, the new batch, shows up and it's put on the line. But if you go there and you go, oh, there's no more fenders, you pull the plug and there's no cars being made. And that's the case with all these parts. So it's a big deal affecting supply chains. Obviously, Donald Trump and the people that work for him have no clue. They've never worked anywhere before. See, they're billionaires, hedge fund people. They never got their hands dirty. They never worked in a factory or dug a ditch. Believe me, I have. I've done all that work. Before I got my master's degree, before I got into Sony and big companies, I worked at all kind of places. I hated most of them. I worked retail, hated it. Sold appliances, if you want to know. I wasn't very good at it. So West Coast ports have seen a massive drop in shipments from China. In fact, Laraco says they've seen a decrease of 44% in vessels year over year of incoming ships. This will affect everybody eventually. Just remember that there are people dock workers that handle the dock, that handle the offloading of these containers, truck drivers, railroads, warehousing, and all the people that affect or work in that grouping of businesses. This is a ripple effect throughout the supply chain of incoming material, incoming containers. And it's a big one. Basically, it goes coast to coast. It isn't just related to the Port of Los Angeles or the Port of Oakland. It's everywhere. Now, she said that the Port of Oakland, which I just mentioned, has a 50-50 split in incoming freight and outgoing freight. But they were told there by their bosses at the Port of Oakland that be prepared for cutbacks. And this will happen as we go forward. As the number of containers that come in drops here in May, as we go into May and hitting June, we'll see a massive number of people laid off, I believe, throughout the supply chain. So although nobody really knows how long this trade war will last. Now remember, Trump said any second he's going to make a deal. He's going to make a deal. We're making deals. Deals we didn't need to make. I know people have been told, and we say this a lot here on the David Tomsic Show, that we've been ripped off. And I've explained this process many times, and people don't get it. Because people want to believe they've been ripped off. They want to play the hurt person. We were affected because people ripping us off around the world. Canada's ripping us off. We're stealing from us. You know, these people that think that haven't grown up. You know, they want to be like their children. Joey pushed me first. But adults have to understand the real situation. They have to understand how it works. Most adults don't know how all this works. And they have to also do some research and do some work and listen to more than the True Believer group listens to, which is Fox News, Epoch Times, and Newsmax, which could, as I mentioned, could be the worst I've ever seen in illegitimate news. And, of course, people like Sean Hannity and all those people on that right-wing radio, avoid them, because their viewpoint is the viewpoint of, we're offended, we've been ripped off, and people are stealing from us, and those millionaires are crying because they can't buy a fifth Mercedes-Benz now because people are ripping us off, so they're stuck with 4. So those of you that want to cry about it, those of you who want to go back in history and talk about Donald Trump being, hurt in his first 4 years, no one wanted to support him. You want to go back and talk about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and maybe we can go as far back as the Depression. Maybe we can go farther back to the Civil War. Let's bring it all in. Let's blame everybody because you're not getting what you want. Well, not everybody does. And I've already stated this many times, that America has never been slighted. Our standard of living here is well beyond anybody else's in the world. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's trade war is destroying America, destroying Americans. China just canceled a U.S. soybean order, 2.4 billion tons. That's $1.1 billion gone in hours. The farmers are getting killed. Guess what's going to happen? He's going to save the day. He's a hero. He should be a hero. He's going to give them subsidies, the farmers. Well, they wouldn't need subsidies if your trade policy made any sense at all. But why should we care about farmers? He doesn't know what a farmer is. Has he ever worked a farm? He goes to McDonald's. I guess some of that stuff comes from farms, maybe. I don't know. Is it all real? I don't know, but he doesn't care about farmers, and they voted for him. Shame on you, farmers. Listen, I'm going to say those people that are being affected now that voted for him, this wasn't a secret. Everybody with any common sense knew this was going to happen except you. Because you were all selfish. You wanted what you wanted. Those terrible immigrants, we got to get rid of them. Oh, they're terrible. Those immigrant children, they're American citizens, but we got to get rid of them. They got to get rid of all these people. Get rid of them. And that's going to make you feel good. Well, good. You can sleep well tonight because they're not all going anywhere. I mean, his immigration policy is another failure, like everything else he does. So you think that his big deals he's making is helping somebody. It's helping himself and his fellow billionaires. Sure, not helping farmers or veterans or people that work in the federal government or the average America who's going to go to buy clothes in July and see that they're 3 times the amount. And yet many people in his administration say people got more than enough money to weather the storm of the tariffs. What world does he live in? Do you live in the same world? Those of you, the true believers out there, you true believers, do you live in that world? Is it a nice bubble world? Is it all blue skies and unicorns? Is it? Because for the rest of the United States that actually is aware of what's going on, it's not really a good time to be here. Okay, so he's making a deal at any cost. And we know that when it comes to that, he will step on anybody and everybody to get what he wants, unless he gets pressured. And he is getting pressure now from a whole host of people. We'll see where this leads. We'll see if the trade war ends as suddenly as it began. Because ultimately, he's going to have to face the American people, or should I say the Republican Party has to face the American people in 2026. And this could be a bloodbath. He has to remember that the party, these traitors and psychopaths and sociopaths that support him in the Republican Party, they're going to be eyed up for replacement, and they should. Now, I don't know how much he cares about that, see, because he really only has 3.5 more years, give or take. He's not going to run for a 3rd term. That's not going to happen. Those of you who are dreaming of that, I'd put that to rest and dream of something else, okay? Go back to the unicorns and the blue skies. But for Donald Trump taking a 3rd term, I don't think so. So he's only got this many years to get what he wants, to make himself Man of the Year, Time Magazine Man of the Year, win a Nobel Peace Prize, which, geez, that's not working out in Ukraine, is it? Because he still doesn't have any solution there. Putin's using him like a tool, like an orange tool. It's hilarious for the rest of the world to watch, although scary. So where do we go? For those of you that follow me and support freedom, we believe that it's going to go to really a revolution here. I think the revolution will start in 2026 when, we go to the polls to vote for another Congress. The bigger problem is that Donald Trump has no loyalty to the Constitution. He says he does. He put one in his Bible he was selling. I can't wrap my head around that. Of course, he sells a lot of stuff. All of it's pretty much junk, though, that he's sold over the years and never made much money out of it because it's junk. There I go, going down a rabbit hole. A lot of stuff he was selling. Remember his university, that was corrupt. He stole money there. That went out of business. He had to pay some big fines there. I mean, these are all the things we should kind of look at, the end result being collapse, bankruptcy, and disaster. Well, that's what he's bringing to America. If you can't see that, oh, you true believers, then you're missing a lot of information. Maybe you should listen to us more and actually read and study and research, or just go back to Sean Hannity. He'll tell you everything you want to know. That guy's the biggest tool I've ever seen. And he loves Donald Trump. He loves being a right-wing, whatever he is. Unfortunately, he's not been right very often. So maybe you shouldn't go there. Just saying. So as Donald Trump builds his consensus to be a hero, and as that consensus collapses, it's left to me and you. Listen, join this revolution. We have to. This is bad. And if you don't realize how bad it is, if you don't realize how bad this can get, this is the first 100 days. People, it's horrendous right now. If he continues to step on the Constitution, if he goes after people who are, say protesting and sends the military in, if he starts doing things that kind of destroy our freedoms, this could get ugly. I don't want it to get ugly. So it's between me and you. Those of us here that understand this, we have to join together. One way is to please write your congressman, write your senator, please join us. Join me. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. If you have family, friends that may like to understand what's happening, forward my videos to them as well. Help me grow this channel. It's a very young channel when it comes to the new content we've put in. And I want everybody to share in it. I want everybody to support it. And I appreciate those of you that have. So a deal at any cost with China, is it worth it? That's your question of the day. Let me know what you think. Again, please like, subscribe, and share. I've got together with some of my co-hosts. I have a new co-host for our other channel, Nights Around the Fire. We're going to be making another video, a couple of them. We're going to start pounding some videos out. Bigfoot, we're going to be talking about Bigfoot. A lot of other things with Ashley now and Sue Taylor. So please go over to that channel, Nights Around the Fire. I place a link in the description box. If you haven't watched that video with me and Ashley, please do so. And please wait for the new videos coming out. You'll enjoy them. It's a far cry from having to deal with politics and the collapse of our civilization and cats sleeping with dogs, mass hysteria. On that channel, you can just enjoy all the conspiracy theories you want and live in a bubble for at least that hour that we're on. So thank you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time right here on your favorite channel, The David Tomsic Show. God bless you.